Shalom. This week's Sedra is Sedra Vayeshev. Like so many episodes in Sedra Vayeshev, Jewish history changes forever with the story of Yosef and his brothers in this week's Torah reading. The ill will between Yosef and his brothers creates one of the greatest tragedies in the Torah. Yosef's brothers took their resentment to Yosef almost to the point of murdering him. Instead, they arguably did something much worse, selling him to a band of hooligans as a slave. In the lead up to this sale, God sets the background by illustrating the relationship between Yosef and his brothers. Pardon me, I'm going to read the pasuk. God wrote, when Yosef was 17 years old, being a shepherd, he was with his brothers with the flocks, and he was a young teen, and was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Yosef brought evil tales about them to his father. God goes into great detail describing Yosef. He describes his age, 17, his profession, a shepherd, and that he was a young teen. Why does God go into such great detail about Yosef's background? What is it for us to learn? Yosef's sale was a turning point in the story of Yosef and his brothers, and would set Jewish history on a new path. Turning points and changes of direction don't happen by happenstance. It takes a great deal of change and motion for drastic shifts to occur. There are many lessons to learn about the events that lead up to such a drastic shift. Yosef was described as 17 to reflect just how young he was when he became the catalyst for change. Although he was a mere 17, when this episode occurred, he was remarkable enough to bring up the very worst of his brothers. God describes him as being a shepherd with his brothers with the flocks. In his commentary with this verse, Rashbam explained that Yosef would work the flocks with the sons of Leah. Yosef working with the sons of Leah on its own isn't that remarkable, but when combined with the next phrase, it's noteworthy. God described Yosef being a young teen with the sons of his father's concubines, Bilhah and Zilpah. There was a break among the brothers. Leah's sons were the upper echelon of the family, with the concubine sons, Bilhah and Zilpah, looked down upon by their brothers. Yosef worked with the upper echelon, but hung out with the lower class brothers. For hanging out with the wrong crowd, he was criticized as a young teen, too immature, nar, to understand how he would be perceived by the upper echelon. Gaining attention while so young, combined with rubbing the upper class of his brothers the wrong way, brought the jealousy of his brothers to bear. Yosef's mistake wasn't what he did, but how he did it. The mistakes he made forever changed the future of his family, and really, essentially, of Jewish history until today. The lessons for his descendants is to act in a strategic manner. Yosef's actions teach not to focus on the goals, but more on how to get there. One must be sure that on the path to achieving good, people aren't rubbed the wrong way. We can't know why Yosef acted the way he did, but we can point out the steps that led to his sale. God laid out Yosef's details so that his descendants would know properly, or know how to act in a proper fashion. It seems strange to talk about strategy and goals, but in reality, we see that Yosef's mistake was in the wrong carrying out of how he did it, how he accomplished his goals. We need to make sure that not only are our goals proper, but the way in which we get there proper as well. Shabbat Shalom.